HedgeNordic, your single access point to the Nordic hedge fund industry.
How do you usually describe your fund to investors?
We are a technology hedge fund, and we are optimistic but very, very cautious in our view. As technology has quite high risk in itself, we don't need to leverage the fund back and forth. And we're thematic, so we invest on a 5-year horizon, very thematically.
Yeah, but can you explain why you decided to focus on the technology sector?
It's the only sector I know, so it's quite easy. And I've been trading technology stocks since 1994. So I'm almost done in 30 years. So it's the only thing I've been doing. So, and I love it because things happening all the time, new things happening all the time.
You also employ a more thematic approach to investing. Can you explain why? And can we discuss, your stock selection process in more detail?
Yeah, the thematic approach is the fact that in technology, what really often happens is that something big happens, and then it really takes a lot of years to be implemented. So, for example, if you take the cloud thing, that people are moving everything up on the cloud and not buying any service in the offices anymore. That's really a long-term thing happening, and it's still growing very, very fast. I saw it yesterday. But it started really, really early. I think we bought into our first cloud company in 2008, 12 years ago. So this is really how I think you should invest in technology, because it's really a win-win in that sense that the companies that are rightly positioned are going to win, but it's also going to take time, and it's going to be very hard for analysts and fund managers like me to estimate how much time and how big of an impact it will be. And it also gives you the short side, because there's no new money really going into the industry. It's GDP plus 3-4% at maximum. So the money has to be taken from somewhere, and that gives you the short side.
Can you walk us through one or two themes that have worked well for you this year, or that you believe have good prospects for your fund?
Yeah, let's make a very simple one. I have been investing heavily into gaming, and that was before Corona already, because I saw the industry really heading in a really right direction with how to sell the games in the commission inside the games and so on. So it was really a big change. Instead of sending boxes to GameStop and just releasing one game a year, and now it's a ongoing process with upgrades all the time. So that's an industry which is really evolving.
How many themes are reflected in the portfolio that you have right now?
We normally run 5 themes because that's really what we can handle. Because in our thinking is that we want to be best in every stock selection and every theme. So if you call me to go to on Bloomberg TV or anywhere in the world, or meet analysts or anybody, we should know the stocks better than anybody. And that's the really key thing for us, to really have a full understanding of the drivers, the demand, the balance sheets.
How many shorts and longs do you have per each theme?
It varies a little bit depending on the theme and how you want to play it. You can reduce the risk by increasing the number of stocks on both sides, but then on the other hand, you dilute yourself because you have more things to cover and so on. But say that in general, say around 30 names in total.
What are the main characteristics that you'd like to see in the companies that you own on the long side?
We start with a really strong market position, or going into a really strong market position. Gross margin. In technology, gross margin is so important, because then you can move the company. If you don't have the gross margin and the cash flow, you can't move. And in technology, you need to move all the time, because small things are happening all the time.
And what net market exposure do you maintain on average over time?
That's a really hard question, because what we work very much with is try to be market neutral, beta adjusted. We work very much with beta and try to get as market neutral as possible, given the circumstances in the marketplace, which means that sometimes we need to be net long, sometimes we need to be net short, in order to cope with the different market scenarios.
And now, can we focus on your 2020 performance? How happy or unhappy? I guess you're happy with the performance. How would you assess your performance?
No, I'm really unhappy, to be honest, because I think the performance should be better, given the fact how well my holdings are doing. So we exclude stocks, prices, share prices. My second quarter was best quarter I ever had in terms of EPS growth. And I've been doing this since 2006.
HedgeNordic, your single access point to the Nordic hedge fund industry.